How did you know?
G'day guys, Coach Chris, Coach Vince, Black Flag Barbell Club. We did a bit of a Q&A in our members group and we're going to answer them today. So, Vince, how can I do a heavy, light, medium program but only in 2 days per week?
Good question.
Perchance, do you have an answer for us?
Please hold.
So if it were me, I would just do the light stuff as the volume after the heavy stuff, personally. Like I would do a medium day and a heavy light day. Because I'm a simple man.
And alternate the exercises that you do those heavy, light, medium.
Yeah, if you want, I'm a simple man.
Oops. Well,
Yeah, I mean, you basically either break up the volume and make sure you get the same volume over 3 days. So you could ignore the light day, or maybe every second or third week throw in the light days at like a deload session, whatever you want. As long as you're getting the same amount of volume, it'll realistically be the same training effect for most intents and purposes. It gets a little finicky in some situations, but for the most part, that's what I would do.
He's nice.
Is nice. Second question, how do you program taper week before a meet?
Would you like to answer that again?
You've got to contribute something, bro. So the actual week before the meet, I will usually get people, so maybe a Thursday before the meet itself, they will do... I'm going to wait 1 second.
Sorry.
Don't apologize to me, bro. You keep going.
Oh, fuck.
I'm most excited for the mic because I know it will pick up that.
Well, then people will think it was Campo in the background.
Alright, so again, how do you program taper week for a meet or before a meet? So my directly before, like the week of the meet, basically, the Monday, Tuesday, I'll get them to do some singles at like 80%, maybe doubles, and then the Thursday before the meet, so you're a couple days out, it'll be like 75% for 3 singles or something, like really, really light volume. You're just trying to keep it heavy enough that it's kind of practical, like they actually have to brace and do the skills of the movement, but light enough that it doesn't cost them anything recovery-wise. But it basically ends up, they come in, they do the 3 singles, they feel like they shouldn't have come in, it was a waste of time, and they leave. That is perfect to me.
Yeah, I'll take a similar approach. So I sort of like to do that week of the meet. We don't want to take a harsh deload where we sort of drop everything 50%, because then we sort of get to comp day and you forget how to lift heavy shit. So keep it sort of, I like to take openers on the early in the week for say session 1, and then do like a 75-80% like middle of the week, and then go into comp day, just to keep everything sort of moving right and feeling fresh.
Openers I tend to put further out, so I'll do the deadlift opener 2 or 3 weeks out, and the squat and the bench 2 weeks out, and then there's the actual deload week. But depending on what level you're at, there's nothing wrong with doing them, you know, the Monday before the meet. That's all good.
Next question.
Question 3, what is the best technique to warm up for training? The options given were static stretching, dynamic movement / stretching, lighter warm-up sets, or other.
There are options.
Other is very open-ended.
Yeah, I'll take the other route. So in terms of warming up,
This is a great question because Vince has gone through like a couple back injuries. I feel like you had a shoulder or something.
yeah, tendonitis from shooting some tennis balls into a foam roller, but yes.
Show you warm-up kits. Yeah, so take us through, what do you do now that you're not injured, and did you change anything during the period where you were still doing what you could, but you know, you couldn't do everything?
So in terms of comparing the 2 periods, so before, when I was sort of managing sort of bits of niggles, I'd take a little bit longer, just sort of warming up, making sure everything's sort of nice and loose, activated.
How would you go about that? So what do
So
you do to get loose and activated?
In particular, I pick maybe 2 or 3 sort of dynamic stretches that target the main areas. So for me, it's particularly my hips, my mid-thoracic.
As a physio has treated Vince a few times, his hips are fucked.
Yeah. So particularly the hips and the upper back mobility. Occasionally my pec that gets a bit tight, so loosen that up just a little bit. Nothing too intense, maybe about a minute or so on each sort of target area. And then I pick some activation movements, so activating glutes, activating sort of rotator cuff, upper back stability, and then basically just getting on the bar and actually warming up with the movement is what I found is...
So lighter sets?
Yeah.
So if you're squatting, lighter sets of squats?
Yeah.
Like that. How long would the actual, not including the warm-up sets, but how long would the stretching activation work, how long would you spend doing that?
At the moment, I like to cut everything down so it's really compact, so about 15 minutes max. So you
injured
can...
state kind of thing?
Injured state, maybe like half an hour just to make sure, because it's more of a mental thing. You just want to make sure you're good to go.
Yeah.
Just playing it on the safe side. But good 15, 20 minutes should be more than enough time to sort of get everything sort of loose and activated, what you need.
I have had much less of an injury history. I've been very fortunate, and knock on wood, thus far, no back injuries. I've had one, I think it was a rotator cuff issue, but who knows, I didn't get it checked out. And I've had one slightly torn psoas, but I knew instantly when I did it, and within 2 weeks I was back to what I was doing before. So my warm-up sort of reflects that. I don't really do a whole lot of warming up. I'm very much more of a fan of active warm-ups. Some might call it dynamic warm-ups, but that to me refers more to stretching, like leg swings and that kind of thing. So for my lower body, the most warm-up I will do is crab walks in a hip circle and walking lunges. And then I'm under the bar. Usually I'm just under the bar, especially nowadays I don't have that much time to train, so it's literally under the bar. As few warm-ups as possible. If I feel creaky and old, then I'll do more, and if I feel good, I'll get straight to the weight as soon as I can. Upper body, I'll pretty much never warm up. At the moment with my training, the way it's structured, I start with dumbbell incline bench and seated rows, and that pretty much serves as my warm up. I do one light set of that and then I'm into it. Alright, next question, I forget which one it is. Maintenance programs, do they exist, or is it all just about getting stronger? Is it all just about getting stronger? Always. Maintenance, you don't need a whole lot of volume or anything to maintain where you're at. It's like surprisingly low. I feel like it's 50% or something, like bare minimum kind of deal. Which is fine. Like if you reach a point where you genuinely feel like I don't want to expend the energy and the effort to get stronger, which sometimes you do, like if you get real busy with work, uni, family, whatever, sometimes you just got to hit pause for a while. But in general, from my perspective, as both a physio and a strength coach, there's the whole Mark Bell thing, strength is never a weakness. There's no reason to not be stronger. It gives you a bigger buffer, means you're less likely to get injured, assuming you do it safely and sanely in terms of getting stronger, like you don't push it to the max steel all the time. But yeah, if you get injured doing something unrelated, you're going to have quicker recovery times, you're going to have better surgery outcomes, you're going to have better independence and all that great stuff when you're old. Like strength is just so good for you, why wouldn't you want to be stronger, is basically my opinion.
Yeah. So like a side sort of topic on that would be, how would you structure, say you want to devote more time on your deadlift because you feel like it's a weak lift, maintaining the other lifts while you concentrate, put extra volume onto that sort of main lift that you want to bring up.
Same way, I would just take volume from the squat, so I would halve that and I would add that volume to my deadlift or ramp it up to my deadlift, whatever needed to be done. Come on through the frame, sir. Show the world what you got. Look at this beard, people. Look at it.
Are you actually filming something right now? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, hello.
This is what I want. this is what I've got.
This is what I'm trying. It's not working.
But yeah, if you want to focus on a lift, you have to realize that you only have a finite amount of recovery and ability to train and time to train. So you have to take from something to give more to that lift, which is fine. You know, there's, you very rarely, unless you're a beginner or coming off a layoff or that kind of thing, you're almost never going to have all three moving well at the same time. Like you're going to have one that goes good, one that goes kind of good, and one that's probably a bit meh. And then that will cycle through depending on your passion for the lift. Like if you hate deadlifts, you're probably not going to be great at them, and how much effort you're putting into that lift. Done?
Yeah.
We'll do one more. We'll do day moves real quick because Rach has to bench. If a tree falls in the woods and nobody's around, does it make a sound?
In terms of the greater universe, I say it still makes a sound.
That's good, man.
My favorite question in reply to this question is if you have a 100 kilo guy that does a pull up and you have a 70 kilo guy and you built 30 kilos to him and he does a pull up, who is stronger?
Let's try that out.
Last question.
Always.
Take us through breathing. Is it different for each lift, bench, squat, etc.? On a side note, I've also noticed during my breathing that everything goes silent around me. Is this
I always tell myself not to get excited too.
So the way that I teach breathing and bracing, the simplest way to describe it, because it gets... The idea is very simple. You want to brace everything, be as tight as you can. To do that, it's more than just taking a big breath. So I usually tell people, take a big breath and then make yourself really squat. So don't extend, don't flex. Imagine you're like a Coke can and someone's stepping on you and you need to resist that. And the way I get people to do that is to push out a big poo without following through. So you take a big breath in and then you push down, you push all that air down and you brace that way. That's probably, for a quick answer, that's probably as quick as I can make it.
So in terms of accessories and stuff, people try to overcomplicate the breathing or they don't actually breathe at all. It's important that you're sort of bracing, breathing, holding that breath through the sort of hardest part of that lift. So once you get past that sticking point and you're, in most cases you're safe to sort of let a bit of air out. But yeah, important, especially for beginners, you need to have a sort of breathing routine there.
Yeah.
Either taking a breath in before they start the lift, going through, and then resetting that before the next rep.
For most people, for most beginners, that's going to be real slow compared to what you want to do. Like most people want to just bang them out 10 reps. It takes time to really set the pattern of breathing how you should. So it's going to be a bit slower. If you're doing a set of 10, treat it like 10 singles where every time you reset that breath so that later on when you do speed it up, you have that pattern already so you know you're going to set the breath. In terms of squat, bench, deadlift, do you breathe any differently? I don't personally, I just brace hard as fuck for all of them.
Yeah, sort of brace and sort of brace for each rep and make sure I reset that brace before my subsequent rep.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that gets lost in this whole thing. Everyone's set up nice and tight for the first rep. After that first rep,
And then it gets loosey.
yeah, they sort of just forget about it and just ride the wave.
There are some people, I want to say Josh Bryant is a bit of a proponent of this, but don't quote me on it. There are a lot of people who will do like 2 or 3 reps and then take another breath. For me, I've never done it that way, and if I try and do it now, it just makes me really lightheaded and I want to say weak, but I just don't feel good doing it. So I just do it every rep, but there are plenty of people who do like 2 or 3. Some people even do the whole fucking set on one breath, which I think is madness, but for them it works. So that's it for the Q&A today. Thank you for watching, I guess. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them through on the Facebook, Black Flag Barbell Club, on the Instagram, Black Flag Barbell, I believe, or info@blackflagbarbell.com.au, and we will help you out. Who's joining me for question, I forget, 4?
That's what she said. Oh, okay, no.
High def. Yeah.
Other bits.
Other bits. Because we were making fun of his.
Oh, when he lives.
Yeah. He was fucking hiding it from me yesterday.
How do you hide a breath?
He wasn't going. He was like getting to the top. He's like. And I was like, were you stifling your? He was like, yes.
It's so off-putting though when you're thinking of something like that at the end. Like when I used to put my
You stick your tongue out, mate.